Thank you very much, Financial Secretary Mrs. Edwards. Let me recognize in a very special way the Acting Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Dr. Reginald Thomas, the Chairman of the Aid Bank, Mr. Martin Charles, the manager and other staff of the Aid Bank. Let me also recognize from the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Reginald Sabre. And in a very special way, as we not looking too well this morning, let me recognize one of the pioneers working with the Ministry of Agriculture and the government of Dominica since Hurricane Maria, Mr. Kevin Stevenson. And those of you listening via radio, just over 2 months ago, or just over a month rather, we were here signing an agreement demonstrating government's commitment to assisting our farmers and the agricultural sector by reducing the interest rate from 3% to 2% and expanding the scope of which farmers could benefit from the facility at the Aid Bank to include the pork and poultry, to include the rearing of chickens for the production of eggs. Today, we are here this morning to sign an even better agreement in the advancement of the sector for our farmers. The government of Dominica, in response to providing grant assistance to the farmers post-Hurricane Maria recovery, has entered into an agreement with the Aid Bank to administer funds on behalf of the government of Dominica to the farming sector. The government proposes to do so by committing United States $7 million, equivalent to 18,817,400 Eastern Caribbean dollars from funds provided by the World Bank under the Disaster Vulnerability Response Project, DVRP. The Agricultural Emergency Response Grant, ARG, is a short-term mobilization response to the negative impact of Hurricane Maria to the farming community, whereby farmers and fishers may have a ready source of funds to be used for the restoration of crops and livestock production and fishing operation. Government, in demonstrating its commitment to the farmers, or rather the farming population, to ensure gains made in the agricultural sector through its years of investment in production, farm access roads, and market access, by providing all farmers and fishers with an immediate stimulus grant to buffer the short-term loss of income and therefore allow farmers, fishers to have reasonable funds to facilitate their business operation recovery effort. 900 commercial beneficiaries will be awarded a fixed grant of 10,000 EC dollars per beneficiary, while 3,042 small commercial beneficiaries will be awarded grant of $3,000 per beneficiary. Farmers and fishers who have not met the above criteria will be given an amount of $1,000 per beneficiary. Let me take the opportunity to thank the thousands of farmers who have returned to their farms following the intense ravages of Hurricane Maria to both their farms and their infrastructure. Your effort have ensured that there is an adequate supply of short-term crops and vegetables. And of course, if you visit our market is blooming with the short-term crops and vegetables. And based on projection, Dominica will be able to supply some of its own traditional markets, especially in the region, in the not too distant future. And we can report that as we speak, we are already meeting some of the export demands out there for our regional markets. We can report that we are presently exporting weekly 2,000 pounds of ginger, 1,000 pounds of potatoes, and 5,000 pounds of cucumber. And this we expect to increase incrementally. We have also been able to provide to our farmers over 3,000 bags of fertilizer, and we're expecting to receive on the island by the first week of February an additional 5,000 bags of fertilizer to be provided to the farmers across the island in support of their farm effort. And of course, one of the challenges we have had is in getting some of the requests that we've made into the island due to shipping constraints, and we all know about the port constraints and so on. But for sure, the effort at assisting the farmers will continue. We recognize the importance of the farming sector to GDP, and government will spare no effort at continuing to invest in our farmers and in the farming sector. So let me take the opportunity again to thank all those who have been working very, very hard to assist us in putting this agreement together, the staff of the Ministry of Agriculture, the volunteers who have, and we heard the Prime Minister yesterday in his statement recognizing the effort of persons like Mr. Bully and Mr. Stevenson, who volunteered themselves from day one, walking through the muds in town in the early days to get to the financial center and to work in the heat where there was no electricity and the entire building was very hot. But they were there, assisting the Ministry of Agriculture in putting the framework together. And today we are seeing the benefits of all their hard work. As we speak, the World Bank is here with us, assisting us on a framework for the short to medium to long-term recovery effort of the industry. So a lot of work is going on within the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that the farmers benefit and the country as a whole benefit within within the sector. So I want to thank all those of you who are here. I want to thank the Aid Bank for always ready to assist the ministry in all of its efforts. I want to thank the Aid Bank for all the support they've given to the farmers over the years, through their own effort and through the effort of government. And we look forward to continue working with the Aid Bank because it's a very important institution to the agricultural sector in this country. I want to thank the FS for all our effort, always. And I want to say to the farmers that your government is behind you. With $18 million being presented to the farming sector as a grant to the farmers, we can expect a rapid increase in production. And we're looking forward to putting all the structures in place to ensure that we can export the production and Dominica will benefit. Thank you very much, everybody.